All right, everybody, what's going on? My name's Tate Canyon. We are here with Round 2 Magazine, and today we got a really special guest. We are here with Slobby Robby. Robbie, introduce yourself, my man.
Yo, what up, man? Slob Rob with no job. Your main pillow stain. Your mom's favorite friend. All that stuff, man. I'm here in my store, Generation Cool, Tucson, Arizona.
Hell yeah. All right, man. So to start off, we're gonna get off with like the super simple basics. How did you get the name Slobby Robby, and where did that come about? Where did the alias come from?
Oh, well, that's a good question. So, mostly from early social media, like MySpace. Just, messing around, and I had different nicknames, and I called myself Slob Rob and Slobber and all this. And then one day, this girl started calling me Slobby Robby on MySpace, and it just stuck, and she wrote me a poem. And I met her one night, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you're Slobbert, from MySpace, right? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm going to write you a poem. And so I wake up in the morning, and on my MySpace wall, she had written me like a nice little prose. And it said, Slobby Robby, he's my favorite hobby. If I was a hotel, he could sleep in my lobby. And then I changed my MySpace name to Slobby Robby, and all my homies thought it was funny, and it was almost kind of a joke, like my homies didn't call me that. My homies called me Rob. But like a lot of girls and a lot of people, we were on the nightclub scene, so a lot of these people really did start calling me Slobby. And you can't choose your own nickname, man. It's usually what latches on with the public. So that was an early social media nickname. It's also a famous Garbage Pail Kid character. So I ended up using that as like my photo, and I ended up sort of branding myself with this rhyming name and this Garbage Pail Kids motif. And that was early on in the MySpace days. So by the time I hit Facebook and Instagram, I wasn't really having to think about what my handle was. You know what I mean?
That's super fire. I love that. You don't get to pick your own nickname. It's just given to you. It's like this God-given thing. It just shoots down, and that's who you are for the rest of the time.
Literally.
So kind of going down into it, you're a man of style, bro. You're always dripped out. So to start off into like getting into like how you got into that personal style, can you give us a fit breakdown of what you got on right now?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I like to, for the most part, I like to say that I've been wearing the same type of stuff since middle school and high school, because I still, although I couldn't afford Gucci and some of this stuff, in high school, there was the stuff I liked. But, I always liked beanies, ever since I was skating in 7th, 8th grade. In the winter, it can be really cold here in the morning, and then it can get really hot in the day. So I'd wear a beanie in the morning and then take it off by afternoon. So I've always worn beanies, always liked big glasses like Cazals and Lokes, if you will, like gangster glasses. So I always wore big glasses. I was known for wearing big Lokes in middle school. And then, after high school, when I started like making more money and whatever, I started like getting more into jewelry. But for instance, a baseball jersey is something I've been wearing since high school. I love baseball jerseys. I love sort of that, whatever, that classic idea of sort of streetwear, sort of like a NWA, Sox, Raiders, LA Kings. I come from that sort of, especially this outfit sort of comes from that, late 80s LA school of style. They got a little Dapper Dan in me. I like a good, what does Dapper Dan call this? Logomania. I like a good monogram. But then I like modern stuff, and I'm into like shit like, I got the Yeezy foam runners on the feet. I like futuristic one-piece shoes. I like weird footwear. So I'd say my outfit today is sort of a combination of like LA street shit and a little bit of futuristic,
That's so wild, man. I feel like I'm like looking into a mirror a few years into the future, because it literally like is the exact drip I'd be wearing on a regular day. Like I'm in the round 2 uniform right now, but it's what you're wearing isn't too far off from my everyday fit. And going back to nicknames, you're wearing the 8-ball chain right now, which is super tough. Wanted to point that out because most of my nickname's T8 because my name's spelled out Tate, T8,
Right.
just like it. So wanted to shout out the 8-ball chain because that's definitely a piece of me. So super tough
Yeah.
to fit. That's really hard.
I think stuff like pop culture references, and again, this whole like idea of like pop mania and logo mania, and I really embrace that. I got from Wu-Tang to Versace to Mercedes. I got this old like bootleg street like New York homemade Nike ring, but ever since I was a kid, and I was into skating and shit, the 8-ball has always been like a really cool sort of symbol, So I made this myself with the real authentic Gucci chain too. So I got
that's
a little DIY.
hard.
There's a little DIY to my C's,
That's hard. I fuck with that. So